The White House has signaled a shift in its federal immigration operation in Minnesota after a fatal shooting of ICU nurse Alex Pretti by federal agents sparked protests and public outrage. Federal teams were sent to Minneapolis late last year, triggering clashes with residents and local officials. Pretti's death marked the second U.S. citizen killed in weeks during enforcement actions, prompting calls from Governor Tim Walz for federal agents to withdraw. The White House has replaced the on-ground lead and opened talks with state and city leaders, stressing that enforcement will continue, but now with more coordination and targeted actions. Lawmakers warn public trust is eroding and demand accountability. For more on this, we're joined by our senior international correspondent and anchor, Afua Hagan. Afua, could you bring us up to speed? What's the latest from Minneapolis, and why is this moment politically significant for the Trump administration?
Well, this moment is significant because Minneapolis is really becoming the center of a political and social crisis that has been created by Trump's immigration crackdown. Now, the latest is Border Patrol Commander Gregory Pavino and some of his agents are going to withdraw from Minneapolis today. Now, overnight, you had protesters who actually found out the hotel where they were staying and surrounded it. They are going to be leaving Minneapolis, and that is seen as a bit of a retreat in a previous policy that was very, very aggressive, very, very targeted, and very, very widespread. And you're going to have Tom Homan going into the area instead. He's Trump's border czar, and he's going to be taking over the operation of running ICE. Christy Nealon was sacked from that position yesterday. So it does seem like the White House perhaps are changing their position. This is really significant because of the shooting of Alex Pretti by federal officers over the weekend, the second shooting in a matter of weeks by ICE agents of a U.S. citizen. Remember, they have killed more people in custody before Renee Good, before Alex Pretti. But these are the two notable ones that have really caused protests over the past few weeks in President Trump's immigration surge. Now, the administration are now facing intense scrutiny over the tactics that have been used over the past few weeks, and these aggressive enforcement tactics, and obviously the devastating effects that they have had.
So we're hearing that Border Patrol Commander Gregory Pavino and some agents are expected to leave the city. What does that tell us about the White House strategy right now?
This is a clear attempt by the White House to lower the temperature, to try and calm things down in Minnesota and Minneapolis. The Governor, Tim Walz, is still insistent that ICE agents should leave the state. It's thought that they number police officers 5 to 1, so they really are the dominant federal force within the state. The Trump administration has really been facing criticism, some from within their own house, about the immigration crackdown, about ICE, and about the tactics that they have been using. So by Trump pulling out Gregory Pavino and some of his ICE agents, it is a clear attempt by the administration to try and row things back, to try and perhaps signal a reset, to show that it's responsive not only to the outrage within the party, but the public outrage, which is not limited to Minnesota and Minneapolis, which is spreading across America, these protests against ICE and the tactics that they have been using.
All right, News Central senior international correspondent and anchor there, Afua Hagan, giving us an update on the immigration enforcement crisis.